In 17th century, this man, Ferdinand Verbiest, who was a Flemish Jesuit, was believed to invent the first steam carriage. However, we cannot say for sure. But this man, Richard Trevithick, he was an Englishman. In the wake of 18th century, he brought on the roads of London a carriage, a steam carriage, which for the first time tear itself apart. But as we say, like that failure is not the part of failure is not opposite of success, but a part of it. So the second trial made it successful, and he was able to drive for about 14.5 kilometers per hour. And thus the use of steam powered car begins. And the 18th century England witnessed Hong Kong Enterprise steam bus, the US witnessed Roper's steam car, Canada witnessed Taylor's steam buggy, Germany witnessed Kamna steam car, Sweden witnessed Caterham steam car, Australia witnessed Scherer steam car. Today we see this as our fashion, but back then this used to be the fashion cars. In the early 20th century, USA's Stanley Motor Carriage Company manufactured a car. It was steam-powered car named as Stanley's Rocket, and this rocket car was able to set up a world record of touching 204 kilometers per hour on the streets of Florida. So let's see more about this fascinating car and what are its causes of extinction.
So first, let's study how steam engine works. Here is a rough sketch of what an external combustion engine looks like. There are four different parts in a steam engine mainly. And the first one is a boiler, the fuel, the exhaust, the piston, the crankshaft, and the wheel. In the early 20th century, even though internal combustion engines were physically more compact and also more fuel efficient than the steam engines which were external combustion engines, the engineers had around 100 years of steam experience by the time the internal combustion engines debuted. And when owners of petrol-powered cars were trying hard to hand crank the engines into life, even by 1900, steam cars were already largely automated. An external combustion engine burns fuel externally or outside the engine. The burning of fuel releases thermal energy, which is used to heat water and change it into steam. The pressure of the steam moves the piston back and forth inside a cylinder. The kinetic energy of the moving piston can be used to turn a vehicle's wheel, a turbine, or a mechanical device. There are two different types of external combustion engines, Stirling and steam engines. So the boiler is a big tank of water with dozens of metal tube running through it. For simplicity, we have showed only one here. The tube from the firebox to the chimney carrying the heat and smoke of the fire with them. This arrangement can heat the water in the boiler tank much faster, so it produces steam more efficiently. The steam generated in the boiler flows down a cylinder just ahead of the wheels, pushing a tight-fitting piston back and forth. The piston is connected to one or more of locomotive's wheel through a crank. As you can see in the sketch, the piston pushes the crank and the connecting red turns the locomotive's wheel and powers the car.
The greatest technical challenges to steam car have focused on its boiler. The highly pressured steam for a steam engine comes from a boiler. The boiler's job is to apply heat to water to create the steam. There are two approaches, fire tube and water tube. This represents much of total mass of a vehicle, making the car heavy and requires careful attention from the driver. Although even the car of 19th has considered automation to manage this. The single largest restriction is the need to supply feed water to the boiler. This must either be carried and frequently replenished or the car must also be fitted with a condenser. Once working pressure was attained, early steam cars could be instantly driven off with high acceleration, but they typically take several minutes to start from the cold, plus the time to get the burner to operating temperature. To overcome this, development has been directed towards flash boiler, which heat a much smaller quantity of water to get the vehicle started. The steam car does have advantages over internal combustion powered cars, although most of these are now less important than in early 20th century. The engine, excluding the boiler, is smaller and lighter than the internal combustion engine. It is also better suited to the speed and torque characteristic in the axle, thus avoiding the need for the heavy and complex transmission required for an internal combustion engine. The steam car is also quieter even without a silencer.
The rapid development of internal combustion engines in the early 20th century gave stiff competition to steam-powered cars in the market. Mass-produced cars using internal combustion were cheaper and more efficient, and gradually became commonplace. With the development of electric starter motor in 1912, steam-powered cars almost entirely vanished from the market. Now they are found mostly in museums and certain automobile collections only. Even though its proponents argue steam-powered cars have a place in the future of the automobile industry, the competition from combustion engines and now electric and hybrid cars make it very less likely. Thank you.